Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial we will learn how to create snow particles, smoke effect and debris using Houdini. So let's start it. Starting by creating velocity using trail. Change the result type preserve to compute velocity. If you want to visualize only display velocity option, now we can see that. After that take a color node. Color will be red. After that take a grid. So we need to group some primitives for better resolution. I am using bounding box. Select primitives that contact around our character. So subdividing the selected primitives. Make sure the group type will be our group. Simply press the W key on the keyboard. Right now we are in wireframe and now we can see our topology. My division depth will be 3. Transferring the color attribute using the attribute transfer. Click on condition. Distance threshold will be 0.03. So next will be our wrangler. This will remove our extra geometry. For self understanding I rename this. Now let's start with wax expression. So our wax expression will be. Now adding a if statement. Condition will be our address cd.x will be less than 0.2. If it's true, remove the points from pt now. Duplicate the color node and paste the grid side. Color will be black. Now only red primitives will be exist. Now we are adding some noise for velocity using attribute warp. Take a add node and connect to velocity and output will be V. Add node called anti-aliasing noise. Follow the step as shown in video. Make sure you create amplitude input for parameter. Scattering some points, increase the total counts. Now we can see that our velocity. Adjust the amplitude rate according to your effects. For me is 0.1. This is our base emitter. Now we are creating one more emitter for trail. So taking our animated character. For masking take a attribute paint. Taking some primitive where we want to spawn our points. For brush selection use toolbox transform. After that take a blast node for separating the primitives of masking. Make sure it's work on points. The prompt will be @mask is greater than 0.1. After that copy the previous scatter and noise node. Paste and connect here. Here the amplitude rate will be more comparatively previous emitter. Give the high value according to your effect. Unfortunately my scene view not working. So fix that, just replace your scene. So click on geo and on the visual indicator. Now we can see that our animated geometry and mask points also. Now I am manually keyframe the scattering counts to control where I want the trail to appear. So basically if the character foot is on the ground, the scatter point will not be generated. If it's the character is flying, the scatter points will appear. So adjust according to your animation. This is our emitter too. Combine this emitter. We are using PopNet for simulation. So connecting the first input to the merge node. Check the merge input. Okay, it's working. After that we need to create a ground reference. Now dive inside the PopNet and set the emission type point. Give some gravity. So we can see that there is no collision. For collision plug the merge node. So adding collision in a PopNet using static object for the character and terrain object for the ground. In terrain give the reference of the ground. In static object give the reference of the character. If you are using animated geometry, don't forget to enable the deforming geometry option. After that merge this. Connect the merge node to the merge node and ensure that the collision is on the left hand side. We can see that the particle count is low, so let increase. I am multiply with high value 50. Set the initial velocity to add inverted velocity. Change the variance scale 0.2. To slow down the particles movement, I am using pop drag. For rid of this pattern, use trail node. Set the trail length to 12 and increase it by 0.1. Now we can see that pattern are gone. To control the velocity, we need to use some expression. Take Wrangler node. Expression will be change the velocity to length velocity and fit the value. So basically we are comprising and expanding the value and decreasing the birth rate for optimization. Now we can see that our scene. Adding some more noise using pop force. This is our particles. Hoverboard on pop network. Remove the star and add the pop object. So come back to object mode. Now we are creating a debris source. Okay, we also need a particles. Make a particles empty geometry box. Inside take a object merge and give the reference of the particles. And this is our snow. After that take a platonic solid and select some geometry. For my sim I am selecting box. So take a copy to point node and connect this as shown in video. After that take a attribute randomize. Attribute will be our P scale. Adjust the scale of the particles according to your effects. Add one more randomize for normals. For orientation use one more time attribute randomize. Delete the unwanted attributes which we don't want. So making a debris. So import the particles. After that take a Wrangler node. Rename as the remove points. We are using wax within a if statement to remove random points from the particles. So copy this parameter for removing randomly. Just click on compile. For the debris we need few points, so I keep my parameter above 0.9. Next we take a sphere for creating debris object. Add Voronic fracture node. Scatter some 12 points and connect the second input. After that use connectivity node. Next node will be our attribute from pieces. Connect geometry on second input and point will be on first input. Then connect the output to copy to point second input. Copy to point first input our connected geometry. For scaling we are using attribute randomize. Set min and max according to your geometry. Make sure the piece attribute is enabled in copy to point. So take a piece loop each and connect this. For settlement of the debris we use the match size node. Axis y should be minimum. Connect the output to the attribute from the piece's second input. In connectivity connected type will be our primitives. So we complete our debris. Delete the unwanted attributes for optimization. Now we are making a smoke. So to create this smoke we first need to import our particles. For noise use point velocity and enable the cull noise. So adding some colors according from ramp from attributes. Attribute will be our edge. Click on this button to invert the ramp. So we are deleting the black portion of the particles. So our prompt will be @cd.x is less than 0.5. For the pyro setup we need a pyro source and to rasterize the volume attributes. Just click on initialize smoke and custom attribute will be our velocity. So rasterizing the V attribute and density and age and set the particle separation and copy this parameter and paste in voxel size. After that add a pyro solver. And pyro solver voxel size are also same. Use object merge to add in collision and connect to the second input of the pyro source. So control the loop of the pyro, use pyro back volume. This will be our smoke. In solar beyonds will be 0.1. Adding some noise using disturbance and turbulence and change the dissipation value 0.5. For the better pyro smoke change the voxel size resolution, I keep it at 0.01. So this is our render.